Hello, parents and students. This is your principal checking in with you, Principal Wheaton, here at Loachpoka High School. Just want to let you know by now you probably have received a phone call from our assistant superintendent, Dr. Jason Wright, notifying parents and students that we will resume um, traditional school starting Monday, September the 14th. Doors will be open for our students to come back into a traditional setting. I have here for you just a couple things hopefully that will help reassure to you that your child will be safe at school, that we will do everything we can to make sure that we follow all social distancing guidelines, and also follow the mask order set forth by our governor, that all adults and students will be wearing a face covering slash face mask. So here, like I said, we'll start back on Monday, September the 14th. Traditional school will begin at 7:40. Of course, you still have the option to ride the bus. We're asking students that if you're riding the bus, make sure you have your face mask on or your face covering while you're on that bus, and when you come into the school building also. The middle school schedule here is listed as far as what times. So most of the time, the students get here between 7:10, 7:15 when they report to campus. Students, you'll be going to your homeroom class, which will be your first period class. You report directly to your homeroom slash first period class, and from there we'll be reporting to breakfast. We can't all go to breakfast at the same time, so we'll be calling you by classroom to go to breakfast. We feel like that's the safest way to get students in the cafeteria, grab and go with their breakfast, and get back to your classroom so you can eat. You 7th and 8th grade students, you will be, of course, starting out with your PE class first period, which is your homeroom. So you will be go directly into the cafeteria with your teacher, get your breakfast, and you'll go back to the gym. You either could be going to the new gym or the old gym, pretend, you know, based off who your teacher is that first period in homeroom. So that's where you'll eat your breakfast at. You'll be socially distanced inside the gymnasium for you to eat your breakfast. And here's just a list of the bell schedule. My bell schedule haven't changed. We're still in school from 7:40 to 3 o'clock. Um, these are the class periods broken down by time frame. Junior high students, you eat lunch at 12:30. We will have a hand washing time, so you have time to go wash your hands and sanitize your hands real good before you eat your breakfast. I mean your lunch. And also, you know, that time is from 12:30 to 1 o'clock. So we're releasing you by class period, depending on who you have, junior high for fifth period lunch, to go get your lunch, grab it, and go back to your classroom and eat. And at that time, we still have to be social distance while you're in your classrooms. The high school schedule is still the same. We start 7:40 to 3 o'clock. You'll have a different lunchtime, high school students. Your lunchtime is 11:40 and 12:05. We have two lunch ways for high school. So depending on who your fifth period teacher is, you'll eat lunch at 11:40 or 12:05. And also high school students, which will be our 9th through 12th grade students, you'll have to grab your lunch and go and take it back to your classroom. That's where you'll be eating your lunch at, social distance. And then once you finish, you can put the lunch in the trash cans, which will be in the hallways. And then we'll resume back with your fifth period class. So once again, here's the schedule for the high school as far as the times. Time hasn't changed at all. We do ask though, if you are a car rider, students in high school, or if you drive, please make sure you get to school on time enough for you to get breakfast. We definitely want you to get breakfast. Um, our breakfast is free right now for everyone, so make sure you take advantage of that the USDA has set forth for us. So all breakfast um, is free. So make sure, if you drive or if your parents drop you off, please make sure that you get here in enough time where you can eat your breakfast, because we will start class promptly at 7:40, and you will not be eating breakfast during first period. You only can do it during your homeroom time, which is breakfast time. All right. The arrival of students. Students will be allowed in the building at 7:15 a.m. every morning. No student will be allowed in any part of the building prior to 7:15 a.m. If you are a parent who transports your student to school in the morning, he or she must remain in the vehicle until 7:15 a.m. No exceptions. Well, like I said, we just want to make sure everybody stays safe. So please, if you driving to school or if parents are you dropping them off, please we ask you to stay in the car until 7:15. That's when we'll be taking students in the morning times. Students drivers should not arrive at school prior to 7:15. All right. The dismissal time. This right now to minimize the number of students in the hallway during dismissal, student drivers are going to ask them probably to be released first, so we can go ahead and get those students out the hallways. If they're driving and car riders, so we can get those to them to their cars, but we're released second. And then our bus riders will be released by grade level, depending on the number of students that we have coming to school for traditional. That way, everybody won't be released all at the same time in the hallways. For check-ins, any student who reports to school 15 minutes after the toilet bell would need to check in through the front office. Check-ins will begin at 7:55 a.m. each morning. So if a student, has to check in, please make sure, that they're here on time and they have to check in through the front office. Um, Students who make it the first period prior to 7:55 are considered tardy to school. So please try to get to school on time. It'll be the first day. I know everybody will be excited to get back. So let's just do our best to be on time, especially if you're going to eat breakfast. We want you to get off to a good start. All right, parents, if you had to check your child out, right now we are on red, a high risk area. So we're not really letting everybody in the buildings, only the students at this time. But parents, if you do have to check them out, you will be allowed to check them out. Um, but we'll call you through the intercom and ask who you're checking out and verify all your information, and then we'll call the student up for them to check out. And we use the doorbell and camera system to do that. Of course, you'll be asked to show your identification so we can verify, who you're checking out. All right. Transition between classes. Right here for the 7th and 8th grade students, we put this in place to minimize the number of students in the hallways during class change. When possible, teachers will rotate among students in grades 7 through 8th grade to encourage students in grades 9 to 12 to move expeditiously between classes. The amount of time between classes will be reduced just a little bit so we can make sure those students, you know, do not, get in crowds and gather and hang around each other. We're going to have to make sure that they, push them on into their classroom for those 9 through 12th grade students. But 7th and 8th grade, you will not be changing classes. The teacher will rotate to you, so you'll be in that same classroom. You won't have to rotate. Parents, there will be no lockers. No lockers will be sold. No lockers will be assigned and or used for any purpose. So it won't be any time that your child is going to the locker. We do have restroom breaks. They still can go to the restrooms, at their leisure. But we do have signs posted in the restroom saying, only 4 can be in the restroom at a time, just so we can make sure we social distancing. All right, Chromebooks. Right now, every student at Loachpoka High School should already have a Chromebook. If not, please let us know. But we have already issued out all Chromebooks. If your child is new or whatever, just let us know. We can make sure they get one. But it's their job to be responsible to keep up with those Chromebooks because those are very important. Just in case we had to go back to virtual class or blended or remote. Um, so make sure they keep up with those Chromebooks. All right, students who have an IEP will be serviced according to their individual IEP plan. Um, so if your child has an IEP and they still want to do walk-in services, if they still are virtual, then they still can come back and get their walk-in services. So that doesn't change anything with students who have an IEP. All right, if your child takes a PE class, for 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, of course, they will either have Coach Billingsley, Coach Hool, or Coach Newton. And we have areas set up for them so they'll be separated, so they won't be all together in one PE class. So we have the new court, new gym. We have the old gym. We have the new gym weight room. We have the new gym, the right side of the court. PE coaches know that they'll be used physical social distancing in all the PE classes. We're trying to use non-equipment games as possible. so we can prevent, less contact. We're also going to utilize the outside fields, um, the football practice field, softball field, baseball field, the courtyard, and the band practice field. Those are some of the areas that we will be using to make sure students are spread out, social distance. But it is hot right now, so the teachers will use best judgment as what time of day they go out, when and where, or stay inside because we do have two gyms, so that's a plus for us that we have plenty of space to keep the students separated and spread out. All right, the cafeteria plan. Like I said, all meals will be picked up in the cafeteria and taken back to the classroom. So the students will eat in their classroom. No one will be allowed to eat in the cafeteria. Students and staff enter the same door and stay 6 foot away from each other. We have markers on the floors inside the cafeteria, so they know where to line up and stay 6 feet distance while they're going through the cafeteria. This is something that's new here. The USDA has just approved to serve all students for free starting Monday. So all students, no matter what, will get a free meal for breakfast and lunch. So let's take advantage of that, students. Get here on time in the morning so you get your good breakfast, and also take advantage of the lunch, which is free. That's something that's a plus that we'll be able to serve lunch for all students for free, no matter your status. For example, paid or reduced, all students will eat free breakfast and lunch. This is in effect until December the 31st or until the USDA says otherwise. All right. But if we had to go back to, I guess, charging or free and reduced, student staff will be given a laminated name badge with a barcode so they can be scanned as a payment. We're trying to, cut back on contact of students punching in their lunch numbers, so they will no longer be able to use the keypad to punch in their lunch numbers. All right. So the teacher will have a barcode of all students just in case they misplace them. So they'll be having that as a backup just in case. Trash cans will be in the hallways for trash disposal. Um, we will have a water bottle filling station that'll be available in the cafeteria. So students, they need to bring their own water bottles so they can be filled up, or some type of container that they can put water in, or they can just bring water up with the bottle, either or. But there will be fill up stations inside the cafeteria. That's where they'll be able to, get more water in their water bottle. All right. Parents may not bring food into the school building. If your student has a special dietary needs, please provide the necessary documentation to our school nurse, which is Nurse Sherry Robertson, so she can make sure she get that plan and she'll know. All right, transportation. Just dealing with the bus. Um, all students will, that ride the bus, that normally ride the bus, will normally ride the bus and continue to ride the bus. But if you choose to bring your child to school, that's fine. We understand. So just make sure you're here in enough time for them to get their breakfast. Um, the buses will be getting here around 7:10, which probably is a little bit later than I guess last year. So they might have a little bit more grace time as far as what time they pick up. So we asking the buses not get here no earlier than 7:10, and we'll be trying to get the students off at 7:15, so they won't be just sitting on the bus for 20, 30 minutes. So we get them off the bus and they'll go straight to their first period class. All right, students. Should students choose to be transported via school bus, please realize the first point of screening and preventing the spread of infection is at the home. Parents and families, should be able to identify any symptoms and keep students at home if any of the symptoms are evident. And here are some of the symptoms here: fever of 100.4 or higher, cough, runny nose, or sinus congestion, trouble breathing, or persistent pain or pressure in the chest, abdominal pain or stomach ache, diarrhea or vomiting. If your child has any of those symptoms, please keep them at home. That's the best way to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Just let us know. They still will be able to do their work. We can send them the assignments. All students should be already joined to Google Classroom so the teacher can continue to upload videos of the lesson and send home work through Google Classroom. So that shouldn't be a problem if your child, for some reason had to be quarantined, had to stay at home, if they had any signs or symptoms. So we will still continue, to teach your child no matter what. All right. It is strongly recommended that students who ride the bus wear face coverings. We all have to wear the face coverings when they're on the bus and when they come into the building. Students, I know it's going to be very difficult for you, but it's something we have to do for all to stay safe. And right now, I'm not wearing my face covering the correct way. So, students, this is not the correct way to wear it. You had to pull it up over your nose and your mouth. That's how we will be wearing face coverings, you know, on the bus and at school. We understand it's tough, but this is what is recommended for us all to stay safe. So let's make sure we keep that face covering on, you know, and pulled up and not hanging down like this. It's more effective, and this is the proper way to wear it. All right. So eating on the bus is prohibited. All right. So please no eating on the bus. This rule will be strictly enforced with the bus drivers. We have to keep everyone safe. You will have plenty of time to eat, here at the school when you get to school. On the bus, students will have an assigned seat. So the bus driver will make sure you stay in your assigned seat at all time. So that way, if some contact tracing has to be done, we know where you are. And also, you'll have an assigned seat in your classrooms too. Um, Everyone will have an assigned seat. So it might not be where you want to sit, but it's for everybody's safety that you have an assigned seat. Student participating in extracurricular activities will have an assigned seat also. Consideration will be given to households and specialized groups who have worked in those proximity for a period of time. So if you have a child, parents that ride the bus together, we're going to make accommodations that if you live in the same household, then y'all ride the bus together. So that'll be helpful for you. The driver of the bus will spray and disinfect the bus, prior to picking your child up. They also will, when students exit the bus, they'll be spraying and disinfecting also. Same for when they pick you back up in the evenings. These is the protocol that we have in place to make sure that we're doing the best we can to sanitize the bus. Sanitizing of the building, there will be increased sanitation of all desks and tables in the building. We have different um, agents that we use on the desks to make sure that they are clean. Um, so everybody has to do their part, by using hand sanitizer, washing your hands, all those different things. We'll use wipes to wipe tables down, but everybody has to pitch in and do their part to, make sure everybody is safe and comfortable. Like I said, I already talked about face coverings. Um, the governor, the governor's order is that all students and parents and adults, everyone will have to wear face coverings at the school. The teachers will be wearing face coverings also, and they'll have other PPE equipment that they use, like face shields, just different things that we're trying to use to make sure that everybody is safe and feels comfortable. The first line of defense, though, parents starts at home. Here, here's the home screening again. So just do the best you can at home to make sure that if the kid has any of these type of symptoms, please keep them at home. That's very important. And just and contact us and notify us and let us know. That way we can follow our protocols too, and make sure your child gets their work. And that's very important because we want to make sure everybody at the school does their part and plays a role in making sure that we stay safe. If a child did come to school and they were sick, we have something at our school called the quarantine room, and that's located inside the nurse's office. So if a child had any of these symptoms, or got sick at school, then they would go to the nurse's office, which is the quarantine room. And Loachpoka High School has a designated area where students who are showing symptoms of an illness will be isolated until parents can be contacted. And once we contact you, parents, we're urging you to please come on up and pick your child up as soon as possible. The area is outfitted with chairs and flooring that can be easily sanitized, and it contains an air purifier. So, we doing all we can to make sure that nothing is spreading throughout the school. But as soon as you can pick your child up, they'll be, very important. I don't want to spend a lot of time, but I just want to send you something so you'll feel, comfortable sending your child to school. We understand that everything is very tough right now, but we're going to do the best we can. We can't wait to see your child. Students, we can't wait to see you, to get you back in the classes and, learning and doing your best, and for you to be able to also deal with the social emotional learning side of this. I know that you all haven't seen your friends, and you haven't been around a lot of other students, and you anxious to get back. So we'll be talking about social emotional learning, and just get how you feel. We know there's a lot of things going on today in our society with the pandemic and then social injustice. So we want to make sure that you be able to voice your opinions to us and let us know how you feel. We know you've probably been keeping a lot of emotions in, you know, for this past, I guess, 4 or 5 months. So we want to make sure that you're able to, talk to us and let us know how you feel so we can make sure you feel comfortable and safe here at Loachpoka High School. Parents, we appreciate you trusting us to take care of your child. I promise you we're going to do the best we can, and what's in the best interest of your child. Once again, I'm Principal Wheaton. I'm the principal here at the school. You can contact me anytime. I see some of you at the game, or you can call me. You have my number. If you have any questions or concerns or things we can do to be better here at Loachpoka High School. So I hope y'all have a great day, and looking forward to seeing you first thing Monday morning, September 14th, as we start our traditional classes here at Loachpoka High School. Thank you.